3, 2.
Welcome back, everyone, to an episode of Stories from the Unbound Shores. Where I last left off, the party had gone back to... Oh, no, that was the previous session. So, they had been talking with someone who had previously been, presumably, a cleric of Vecna, and then Navril before that, convinced him to give up his ways and have continued on with their mission, offering to let him travel with them in hopes giving him a better chance of survival. And on their way back, they found some tracks that they believe to be at least of Drow, perhaps the ones they're looking for. And in the course of following them, ran afoul of a Hydra in a river near a bridge. And we ended last session by rolling initiative, so we should be at the top of the order.
Huzzah!
Yes. As we have not even commenced fighting yet, we are indeed at the top of the order.
So, Eskel, it is your turn. Since you guys saw and identified a Hydra earlier this in-game day when you were flying with Windwalk, you'll know what this tentacle creature is. Yes, you did. You saw it just kind of minding its own business.
Huh. Okay, I vaguely remember that.
It was like 4 weeks ago, at least, so I don't really expect you to.
Shit, what was I gonna say?
I don't know. Something witty.
Oh no, I was gonna ask if I can interject to shout a question at them. As this thing rises up and I misty step and things happen.
I'm
Go
okay
for it.
with it.
So I kind of pause for a second, then I shout to you guys. Did anyone else receive a sending just now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Okay, anyway.
I'd be surprised if yours was the same.
Kind of like have my shield arm gesturing toward the Hydra that is like looming over the bridge. Like, just, yes? Is that really what you wish to ask about?
Yep. And as this happens, you'll have like that's the wrong button. Have like one head looking at her, and then another one will rise up and be looking at you, Eskel.
Okay.
I might spawn another a couple tentacles just to be the heads, but it's just gonna have one body.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, can I roll, like, nature first to see if my character knows anything more than how to identify a Hydra?
Sure. I don't remember what was covered last time we made those rolls.
It was, so, but I mean, does my character know how they function? Like, I don't remember discussing how they function.
Like I said, I don't remember what came of those rolls exactly, so yes, roll, but roll with advantage, because there's a chance you already covered this earlier today.
Okay.
I don't think we rolled about Hydras before.
I don't think we did either. I think it just like appeared and we didn't really do much else about it.
Totally possible.
Alright, well then roll regular, or whatever your conscience lets you.
Whatever my conscience lets me. Okay, so I got an 11, because my nature is awesome.
Bet there's some kind of lizard, and it's big. I'm confident of those two facts.
Oh, that could... yeah.
So that's just a check to see, like, if my character knows anything special about these creatures at all, which, with an 11, maybe not, but maybe.
I got a 12 nature.
Woo! High five.
Kind of the same.
Here, have a D4. Got that out by accident.
Bloop!
I need to remember my D4
it's
for
letting me
Heroes game.
touch very little. I do know that.
Touch.
Touch. Do I have to follow you around all day?
Okay. So, is there something specific you're wanting to know?
I just want to know, like, if my character knows about how they function, or if they are let's start with, are they generally dangerous to people?
So along those lines, you know that they're along the lines of your average beasts, just kind of kill whatever comes close when they're hungry, or if they're particularly hungry, they'll go see if they can find something to eat. They don't, and they're not particularly choosy as to what it is. And as far as things you might know about its capabilities, you've heard that cutting off one of its heads can actually make it grow more, but that's the extent of what you know.
Okay, so I don't know that for sure. That's like stories.
That's stories, but you hear them enough and from reliable enough sources you think they're probably true, but you have no idea how or why or what effects it might have in fighting one.
Okay. I also want to tell you, one GM to another, is to make sure you read the wording on how that portion of the beast functions carefully, because it's really weirdly worded.
Yes, I made sure to look it over twice, and I'll look over it again now.
Because I know I did it wrong the first time I ran one. I was very confused.
So, couple things depending on the number of heads. That's how it loses heads, based on particular type of damage, or how much is done. Yeah. I think I understand it.
Okay. I trust you.
If we go through a round or two and you've noticed I've done something wrong, feel free to call me out.
Okay.
And we can discuss it.
Just double check the stream real quick. Okay, looks fine. I guess then, knowing that they're beasts and not super choosy.
Well, they're technically monstrosities, but they have like the mindset of a beast. Like
Right.
You know,
Like they're not super intelligent. Was all I meant with that.
Yeah.
I think that my opening action is going to be to attempt to scare it off, which I will cast Thaumaturgy, and I am going to shout at it using the booming thaumaturgical amplification to my voice, to say, "No, we are not food! Go back to your lair!"
Oh my god.
Alright,
Could work.
roll intimidation
Sweet.
with advantage, I guess, from the thaumaturgy.
Makes sense. Nice. That's probably going to be pretty high. I don't know that.
Probably, because you're charisma-based.
I am charisma-based, but I'm not trained in intimidation, so that's a 23.
Alright,
Let's see if we can make it scared of its food.
well, I'll tell you this much, it's gonna be taken aback at least. I'm just not sure if it's gonna book it or not, because that's a high roll. let me see what it kind of gets for, insight, to try and see if you're more bark than bite.
Yeah.
That seems sensible.
You want me to roll something?
No, I was just trying to determine what I would roll in response to that.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
I was like, insight. Because, like, you're not lying, but it also needs to know, like, if there's enough, like, weight, like, behind your words. Like, if it's something you can actually back up, regardless of if you believe it or not.
Yeah. I mean, even if it... Yeah.
Huh. So, it's not fleeing, but you do see its heads kind of recoil a bit, kind of, like, pull back, like, giving you a second look.
I'm gonna be holding eye contact with the thing, and like, keeping my hand pointed at it. And then I'm going to use this opportunity to move. Let's see.
You may do so. Yeah. For the record, it got 19 on the die.
Wow, nice. I got a 20 on the die, so that's really good. 5. I'm gonna just do a zigzag, I guess. So 5, 10, 15. Whoopsies. 20, 25, 30, I suppose?
So let's see, we're here. 5, 10, 15, 20. That's, you don't really need to zigzag. I'm just gonna count it, like, straight across.
Okay.
And you should move along to that point of the log, because diagonals are the same.
Yeah.
So you are in this square, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, that might be 6.
I guess if I were to go by, like, straight line distance, I'd be over there.
Yeah, that's You'd be, from my count, you'd be like right here.
Okay.
Would be the
that
furthest you
makes
can
sense
move.
to me. Go kapoop. And boop. And I'm sidling along the log, like just glaring at it over my extended hand, which now has a sword in it.
Alright, you already made your check, so I'm not
Yep.
gonna have you make a new one, because you made that at the end of last session.
It's true.
Aurelion. You are the one with the globe, glowing orb on his head. What would you like to do?
I'm tentatively approaching the log.
Alright, you're gonna broach the log as opposed to the bridge, just so that I'm clear?
Yeah, the bridge appears to be broken.
Yeah.
Or is that in the
It
map?
has some broken spots. 5,
Yeah, and it's
10,
also
15,
right next
I mean, you're strength based,
20,
aren't you?
25,
You could probably
30.
jump over it. But there's, you know, a Hydra right next to it also.
Yes, that's also a concern.
So I guess... Alright, so 30 feet got you onto the base of the log.
Yep.
You still have 10 feet more.
Yep.
What do you want to do with them?
I'm going to use those, and I'm going to... I guess I'm going to dash. And try and get it as far across as I can.
Alright, so I guess that's 10. And that's your next 10. I think because you have to move through me, you can get to there if you use all of your movement.
That's fine by me.
I'm going to need him to make an acrobatics check, I think is for balancing.
Yeah, worthy. And out of curiosity, what's the reach of this creature? Can it, like... If it has a reach of 30 feet, that means if we move out of the zone 30 feet away from it, it gets an opportunity attack.
Alright, yeah, I forgot about its opportunity attacks. That is a good point. So it has a reach of 10 feet, so I think technically you would have triggered it first.
Yeah, which is if it was going to attack me after my intimidation
Yeah, I
roll.
probably wouldn't attack you, but I think it would take a bite at Aurelion.
Okay.
Because it's not particularly smart. It doesn't necessarily know that you guys are together, especially since you look rather different.
Makes sense. So let's get Aurelion's acrobatics roll first.
16.
16. Alright. So, I'm going to have, like, the log's long enough that I think I'm not going to have you worry about balance. This is more just if you can defend yourself properly while balancing on this thing.
Okay.
So in this case, you passed, so it doesn't get advantage on its attack.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
So, let's see. And it's to hit. Okay, does a 10 hit you, Aurelion?
No.
Okay. Is there a bonus action that you'd like to take?
No. No.
Alright, and then with that, it is the Hydra's turn. Well, I think it's gonna
Stomp.
10, 15.
Oh, goody.
Well, you are not particularly wearing armor, so you look like you're the easiest to eat.
I look tastiest.
Colorful
So-
and magic.
And I'm gonna move this other
It's like a
tentacle.
cat. It just wants to be shiny on the inside.
And another head will kind of wrap under the bridge and come up at the other side of the log.
That's unsettling.
Staring at Aurelion.
Alright, so it gets that many. Okay, so that's high. Does a 27 hit you? Well, sorry.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Alright, and where's my D10?
Which direction is the damage flowing currently?
Shit, I know I swapped it during the last one. I just can't remember. I think I swapped it so that it was going from you to me because you were taking a lot of damage.
That sounds accurate. And we didn't discuss it after that, though.
Yeah.
It could be changed.
I'll let you guys pick whichever, because I forgot to ask beforehand.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Check
Did you
my health.
manage to heal up to full? Otherwise, I'll just keep it coming to me.
It says on my sheet here that I am full. And I tend to believe this sheet. This is where I track everything. My spells are all still spent, so I think the health is accurate. Yeah.
Okay.
Check notes. Yeah, I only have 10 lay on hands remaining, so I think the health is correct. I am full, so after that fight, I usually would imagine that he's got it flowing to him in case of, like, ambush or something.
Okay.
Just because
Sounds
he feels like he can take the hit better.
Yeah.
And it's not until he, like, actually becomes the one engaged that he wants it flipped the other way.
Yeah.
Well then, I'll have you deal with the halving. Melisari, please take, let's double check, 13 points of piercing damage. So I believe that's, so if my
That's
memory's
6
correct, that
each.
halves, yeah, to 6 each.
How nice.
And then the other head's going to take a bite at Aurelion.
Hooray.
Does a 21 hit?
Yes.
Please take 6 points of piercing damage.
Just 6 for everybody. You get 6 points of damage. You get 6 points of damage.
Oh, quiet you. Oh, another d4.
Yeah, you said 6, did you?
He said 6.
Yeah, okay.
Is that another tentacle up there?
Yes, it
So
is.
many heads. So many tentacles.
Well, that's far too. That's much too far away. So no point making another one. Well, might as well try and represent the number of heads.
I mean, mostly
Another
I'm
one
just
will-
impressed with this river.
Hiding all this body.
Oh, hiding all this junk in its trunk.
I'm glad you went.
Actually,
with it.
pretty deep.
Excited.
And not to mention they're amphibious. But anywho, another one reaches up and tries to bite at Aurelion's foot. Does a 22 hit? Aurelion? Oh, he just BRB'd. Okay.
Yeah, so 21 hit him, so a 22 is also gonna hit.
Yep. I'm just gonna. He took. Let's see. He would take 10 damage, so. I'm gonna. Guess I just go to D&D Beyond.
It looks like I'm in melee range of the tentacle. I've got my highlighter on, but I'm having a little bit of trouble knowing for sure.
Yeah, you'd roughly be in melee range. Like, you're technically in melee range of this creature because technically its body is directly below you. So, like, you're practically in it. Like, you're definitely in range.
Okay, just want to make sure.
And while its head is meant to be, like, attacking with reach, I feel like you should still be able to hit its head because, you know, it's a part of its body.
I mean,
So.
it is one of the advantages that they get is the reach, so they can attack outside of where we can hit them from.
I guess that's true, but I mean, you're still like directly on top of it, so I'll take it more into account later. But for now, I think you're in range.
Okay.
So is there something you were wanting to do with that?
Me?
Or
No,
just curious?
I'm just prepping for my turn.
Okay. So, And I lost a really sheet. So I'm just gonna say and put it in Discord then.
He gets bit again. Yeah.
Munch crunch. Oh, that's why.
Alright, and I... There's not really room for more tentacles, so I'm going to leave them alone. But a fourth one,
Yay.
a fourth head will rise and go for, Melisari.
Wonderful.
Man, it loves rolling 19s against you. 27.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Please take 7 points of piercing damage.
That's prior to splitting?
Correct.
Yay! I
So
like
should-
this whole sparing us a damage each time thing. Keep rolling odd numbers.
Yeah, yeah.
I stopped paying
Oh,
attention.
actually-
I'm sorry, what was the number?
You both
7
take 3
total.
damage.
3.
Yeah.
Okay. Damage.
Alright, and
See
then the last
Eskel,
one
like,
is...
wincing each time you get bit.
And the last one's feeling bold and is gonna go for Eskel.
Well, so much for my shout. Oh well. I guess we have
Well.
to kill it.
It was a good try.
It was.
It's a bit hesitant as it comes up, so in short, it's attacking at disadvantage.
Hmm.
But it's still got 15 and 16 on die, so this probably hits.
Plus 8, yeah.
Yeah. So, 23 to hit.
Yeah.
Are you... Now you weren't... Yeah, you're... No, you're currently the one taking... Well, no, your armor's +1 regardless.
Yeah,
It's the
I
armor
would, even if I had, like, Shield of Faith up, I would be 23 at max right now. Because I'm still
Do you
using...
have, like, a... Do you have a shield out? Oh, no, you have half plate. I keep thinking it's full plate. That's dumb. Because you're...
my AC is 21, normally. If I were still using my fighting style, then at maximum I would be 24.
That's... Yeah, okay, that's what I was... Okay.
But I'm still
Right.
using the fighting style that gives me cantrips because that's badass.
Alright. So... Yeah, so that is a hit. It will roll damage. Please take 6 points of piercing damage.
Alrighty.
And that is its turn. So in total, you've seen 5 hits. I'm gonna put out 2 more tentacles. Well, people take turns just so we have a visual
Counter.
tracker.
Should definitely have like a visual counter somewhere so that we know how many heads there are, since that number is gonna change.
Alright, there's 5.
I guess
And I
I'm
have
just
the... I have a particularly large one representing the body, more or less. Although I can't get onto the bridge. So it's on to Chris. Are you wishing to take control of Chris, or shall I move him along?
Um,
I don't particularly care either way. It's up to you.
no, I can do it. Let me double check this. Alright, that's what I expected. So. And he knows about as much as we do?
Yes, we're just gonna go with that.
Alright, so 10. Whoops, nice. Five, 10, 15. God damn it. So much trouble with this. Let me just count it this way.
20 gets you to about the edge of the bridge here, like edge of the first broken bit.
20. $45. 50, 55. 60. Okay. These seem to be about 5-foot gaps. Is that correct?
Like 5 to 8 foot, but mechanically 5 foot.
Yeah, with his 18 strength, he should not even have to roll to jump it, I believe, correct?
Correct. Since he has the running start required, yes, he doesn't have
Yeah.
to roll, he just jumps.
Alright. He has basic understanding as a fighter, that as long as he stays within range of something like this, it's not going to get any free attacks. So I think he's going to move to there. If that moving there triggers an attack of opportunity, then he'll move further.
I think that's the last square he can get to.
Okay, cool. I was just guessing. Like, I think this is right.
I mean, I'm guesstimating too, because, again, I can't quite put the control it's supposed to be, because there's wood in the way.
Okay. I had him move there, but I imagine he wants to help us. That might not be true, so...
I mean, let me put the roleplay thing as a perspective. He's throwing his lot in with you guys, because once he started spilling his guts, he now has literally no other place to go.
Okay. And he knows about as much about this thing as we do, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Then I think that as a fighter, he would say... It'll be easier if we lure it out of the water. Fair?
Yep, perfectly
Okay.
fair.
Then he has taken his action by dashing, and that's it. Yeah.
Mighty Dwarf, Dirk,
Okay.
you're up.
Exactly where the dwarf should be. Far behind everything.
What can I say? You're natural sprinters.
So... Yeah. Let's see well where the actual squares are. Okay. So, that is one movement. What is the distance necessary for a running start?
And
10
jump.
feet.
Okay. Mm. An arrow's gonna get me off this thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I hadn't looked at the bridge, like the grid when making the bridge, so arrows are kind of just jump you right off.
Down you go, Dirk.
Okay, so I dash to get to there.
Okay.
Very nice.
That was the run thing I wanted.
Any bonus actions?
No.
Okay, Malasari. Oh, that is not the next button. That is a tentacle.
Alright, so I guess we
That's-
decided that.
Oh, I don't want it either.
Oh my.
Yeah, that's what I want.
I'm still debating if and how I want to respond to this thing. But anyway. I wish I'd been closer to Eskel in turn order.
Well, you are right next to each other. He's at the start, you're at the end.
Yeah, I know.
So, you know he goes next.
But his I kind of wanted to piggy off of his thaumaturgy and use prestidigitation to make sparks at it or something and hope that that helped, but I think it's been enough other things between then and now that... Anyway, I'm going to... I'm guessing I can't reach it melee-wise from here?
For this round, I am, because it came up pretty high to the surface to get its looks at you guys, but after this one, it'll likely go back down and be a little harder for people to get with melee.
Okay.
So for now, yes, you
Okay,
can
cool.
reach it.
I'm gonna shocking grasp it.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he just knows something about it, but it's not bad for you. It's just bad for it.
Yes.
All right. I mean, so it's not covered in metal armor, so make your attack it, normal.
Yep. Well, I got lucky anyway. That is. Forgot for a second how my spell attack works. 25.
That'll hit.
And then.
It is no longer capable of taking reactions.
Yeah.
And so for funsies, I'll just let you know, I can take 1 per head, more or less.
Alright.
But since it's 1 creature, it cancels all of them.
Damage says 9.
9. All right.
9 lightning.
It takes 9 points of lightning damage.
Yes. And then I'm going to take Chris's advice and back the fuck up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Alrighty.
It's safe to move away from it for everyone except Chris and Dirk, sorry.
I can see the tentacle actually you'll see every head start to kind of writhe in pain as the electricity courses through it. Since, it's all one thing. I gotta remember that. End your turn when you're ready.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, I can end it for you if you want, but as I recall,
No.
you very much don't want me to.
Fuck. I'm just... I'm just debating if I want to go back for Dirk. So that he's not taking 5 heads worth of damage. As it decides he's the next easy target. No, it's fine. Sorry.
Decisions.
Because, I mean, the problem is that I would have to Misty Step to you and then Dimension Door the both of us back over here.
Which you can't do in a single turn.
Which I can't do in a single turn.
Yeah.
I could use Inspiration and do one of them to get to you and then say, hold here for a second and Dimension Door us on our next turn, but then both of us are probably still going to be taking all the hits. That's next turn.
I think Dirk can take some hits, so he looked pretty unhurt as we were coming over this way. So
yeah, I'll deal with
I remember when I looked unhurt.
We all looked unhurt at the beginning of this. Oh, right. I forgot I had to press the button.
Alright, Eskel, you're up.
Right. Well, I tried my thaumaturgy. The thing still bit my friends. So I guess it's time to get fighty. Now, my attack action should have 2 attacks. It does. It's going to be better, I think, than a single spell. Find favor. Okay. Alright, I guess Aurelion is not next to me, right? Technically.
Correct. There's 1 space between you. I'm looking at this right.
Alright.
Yeah, there's 1 space between you.
If I melee attack it, it's just at regular, right?
Yep.
Okay. I am going to still do it. Cool. Excellent. That first one is going to be, an 8, which to hit.
That will miss.
And a natural 1. Rolled
That
a
will
1 and a
also
2.
miss.
Very nice.
Excellent.
See. Going to move back this way. And I'm going to throw up Shield of Faith on Aurelion, and you said I can make myself the other person?
Wait, what? Oh. The
Derek?
friends with benefits.
What? Sorry, I was. I had a
Sorry, don't
GM
be
related
distracted.
PM.
I am going to put Shield of Faith on Aurelion. Did you say that I can be the other person, or it has to be somebody else?
You can be the other person, but if it's someone else, that's when you can't lose the concentration from damage. If you're the other target, that still applies. Like at that point, you can still lose it from getting hit.
Okay, and if I lose it from damage, then I lose it for everybody.
Yep.
Okay, then...
So it encourages you to put it on other people, but it does not restrict you to putting it on other people.
5, 10,
There's a D4 just sitting on the opposite
20,
bank.
25. Fine, I'm going to put it on these two guys.
All right.
30. That's as far away as I can get. But I am outside its reach now. Those two have Shield of Faith. My first level spell slot is gone. Spells. Boom. And I'm just going to sit here and glare at my dice, because they rolled a 1 and a 2. But I'm going to echo Chris and say, yes, this way!
Poor Dirk.
You can miss your step if you want.
Yeah.
I think. Maybe so slots. I don't know.
I don't know that he has slots.
I wouldn't leave Dirk behind if I thought he couldn't handle himself.
So, is that your turn?
Yep.
Alright. Aurelion, what would you like to do? You're curling next to Torchman.
Torchman. Torchman.
Torchy man.
Torchman who doesn't need a torch anymore.
I mean, he doesn't need it, but it does help.
I want
He
to
likes the comforting warmth.
step off and just gonna get further away. I shall take the dodge action too, just so. Just in case.
Okay.
You want to move your full distance?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave that torch on.
That's as far as I can get you down the road there.
I'm leaving torches on some people just for the video's sake to make sure people can see the tokens. Alright, any bonus action?
Nope.
Alright, then it is the Hydra's turn. Let's see. So, I'm gonna just move the excess tentacles out of the way for right now so I can get a sense of the actual creature. Alright, so 5, 10. I'm gonna say that's 20 because it just shunted me. 20, 25. So it's gonna move here and it will have dived down a bit to where it's just the head sticking up as opposed to any part of like the actual main body. And, alright, I gotta drain the water for a second so I can see what I'm doing. Ah, there's rocks in the way. That's the problem. Goodbye, rock.
Sharp rocks at the bottom.
Most likely.
Bring it.
Get rid of you. As cool as they are for art, they are getting in the way. And there's plant life. That sticks out too. Not that one. The tall ones. Okay. Teleport. There. How about that? That'll do. So just
Sometimes
teleport from
I don't know.
Teleport.
That's a little close for comfort. You know.
Teleport is the only option. Today is a good day to teleport.
So I'm gonna just move these around while I can see.
Woof. Why are you gonna make me feel old like that, Sam?
Hmm?
Toradora post.
Oh. It's a good show.
You know,
Alright,
I
that'll
never
do.
did finish Toradora.
It's a good show.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, there we go. Okay. So this thing will move over here, and it's gonna just try and tear you to shreds, because you're the closest to it not having to get it out of the water.
Good luck to it.
I suppose Chris gets an attack of opportunity because he's having to dive away, and he was within melee range on his last turn.
It's true. Just make sure that I don't miss any of Chris's fun features. Alright, this has to be an action on his turn. Alright, so I guess he's just getting to attack it. Let's see if my dice can be nicer this time. He's got a long sword. Yeah, that is a 22 to hit.
That'll hit. Please roll damage.
Alright. That's going to deal... Hiya! 6 points? Let me see. Okay. Let me check a thing. Yeah. Yep. Cool. Okay. Alright. Well, I don't know if any of those is going to help, unfortunately. With our nature, do we know how big the thing normally is?
Huge.
Thought so. Alright.
So, 3 by
3 by 3.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 by 3 by 3. Okay. Well,
Which is why you were still able to hit it in this thing, because it's tall. Like,
Yeah.
not even counting the heads.
alright, fuck it. Let's see. When you hit with a weapon attack, expend a superiority die, add the total damage to the roll. Fuck you. Cool. So it just takes another 2 points of damage as I hit it with Distracting Strike. And if anybody wants to attack it, they will have advantage to attack it.
Alright. What should I call it? What was the regular damage? Because you never said that.
It was 6.
6.
It was
Okay.
8 total.
So, 2 in total.
Yeah, because my D8 decided to fuck me and roll a 2 both times. Getting a different D8.
Nice.
Of course, I
Alright.
throw the D8 away, and now it gets an 8.
I may need to... Excuse me. I may need to change D20s here in a minute, because that's the third 19 today. 27. Actually, fourth 19 today. So, to the 27 hits you, Dirk.
That 27 will hit.
Okay. Please take 13 points of piercing damage.
Oh, is it magical?
Nope.
Okay.
Does an 18 hit you?
An 18 will hit. That is my AC.
Please take 10 points of piercing damage.
Nobody.
Well, that's fortunate for you. Does an 11 hit?
An 11 will miss.
Does a 12 hit?
A 12 will also miss.
And let's see. That's a 14, so that will also miss. So that is the creature's turn, as you have survived its 5 strikes. It's having some trouble getting through your armor.
It's just very intimidated. I have that effect on things.
Alright, Chris is up.
Chris is up. Okay. Let's see here.
Can Dirk say that I'm making a break for the other shore?
Sure.
So that nobody runs out this way.
Good luck.
Okay. Well, then
Sorry,
I
watches
guess.
anxiously and hopes that she made the right choice.
I think he's going to drop his longsword into the soil beside him, blade first, so that he can pull out a bow and shoot with the bow.
Okay. Make your attacks.
That is 20. Okay. First attack is a wow. +4, 22.
22. That will hit.
Right. Not that D8. The other D8. There's one. Yep. 4 points of piercing damage, non-magical.
Alright, takes full 4 points.
Checking all that, yep. And then next attack is a crit.
Nice.
Nice.
So that's going to go at 8 points of non-magical piercing damage.
Do you want to throw in one of your maneuvers for the extra damage?
Oh, it does just say weapon attack, doesn't it?
Yep. That's the one thing I learned when talking to Drew once. There's actually a surprising number that work for bows as well.
Yep.
I trip him by shooting him in the foot.
Well, too big to trip. So. And I don't... Am I... Disarming attack, do anything to this thing that's not carrying a weapon? I shoot teeth out of its head?
It's not. If you have a particular comment if you'd like to use, you may, because I was just kind of in a hurry when picking them. I didn't particularly think about how they would apply to this fight.
No, it's fine. Like, disarming, distracting, and trip are good ones. They're good general ones. But yeah, I'll spend another superiority die. So take an additional 5. So 13
and
total.
did you want to roll 2 since it's a crit? For the extra damage?
12.
Alright, so it's 12 for the extra and it was 8 for the base?
Yeah, so 20 total.
Nice. Alright. That's a solid hit. Let me double check a stat block, because I think that does a thing. Yes.
It's round by round.
Uh,
You have to look at this round.
it's turn by turn. Whenever the Hydra takes 25 or more damage in a single turn, one of its heads dies. So in this set of attacks, you've dealt more than 25 damage, one of the heads goes away.
Okay.
That is what it says.
I know.
Alright, anything else? Bonus actions or anything?
Actions, bonus actions. That doesn't need that. No, he's good. Gonna stay where he is so that he can pick up his sword again.
Okay. Dirk, your turn.
Okay. Let's see. So I think I can Misty Step. To here, can I?
Let me, 5. Yep, you can move to there.
Okay. So I'm gonna do that.
Poof.
And then I continue moving. Did I need to take one more step to be able to? I think I need to take one more step forward from over where I was to properly Misty Step over to here. So this is as far as I'm gonna get.
Okay.
Alright, yeah, that was your bonus action. What about an action? Since that was just your did you want to attack it before you left? Or try, I guess?
Yeah, that seems like it would have been a reasonable thing to do.
Because, like, the ones directly under should be able to reach it, but most others would not.
So I was swinging at the big one? Because that was right next to me?
Yep. Yeah, the big one is representative of its body.
Oh, okay.
The other ones are just kind of a visual tracker for how many heads are left.
Well, that is bad.
How long
advantage.
does the advantage? Yeah.
Lasts until the start of Chris's next turn.
Didn't his turn happen? Did he distracting strike
Um,
again?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay.
Sort of, but I'm going to just go over that.
What? He did distracting strike again on his turn. He distracting strike on
right,
the opportunity
right.
attack, and then I did it again on the bow attack.
Gotcha. Okay. So
That is considerably better.
What'd you get?
So that would be a 25.
that'll hit.
That went from a 5 on die to an 18 on die. That is 11 points of non-magical bludgeoning damage.
All right.
And then a second swing would have been a...
Before you say anything,
Okay.
Melisari, is there by chance, do you by chance want to portent this or anything? Does anyone ever ask about that?
I think this. I had already said. Or did I say what the thing was, or I just know what it is? I don't
I
actually
think
remember.
you just know what it is, because
Okay.
at least I don't.
Well, this is just a regular attack roll?
Yeah, this
Yep.
is just a regular attack roll.
I'm gonna hold on to it for now.
Okay. That is a 19.
Oh, good.
That'll hit.
$14 points of non-magical bludgeoning damage.
14 points. That's a total of 25. So, another head pops as you smash it in with your maul.
And then, so that was attacking, bonus action, movement. I am done.
Alright. Melsari.
Hang on, I'm taking a picture of my cat. I'll show you guys why in a minute. Anyway. My brain went numb for a second. Alright, so I see this Hydra. I saw 2 of its heads pop.
Yep.
3 of its heads pop. 2 of its
2.
heads.
There's one currently kind of under the
Yeah.
bridge.
I'm gonna magic missile it
Okay.
at 3rd level.
Okay.
Hang on a second. Alright, that's 5 darts. I count good, guys. It's a shame I only have 4 d4s. It's gonna take 16 points of force damage.
It takes... Nope. Wrong thing. 16 points of force damage.
Yes.
And it is bloodied.
Oh, you know what occurs to me? I am within 60 feet of it, right?
Yes. I think so.
Yeah, okay, we're good. And that, I think, can be my turn. It's a shame that this isn't an aberration.
Alright. Eskel, it's your turn.
It's Eskel's turn.
It's
He's gonna shrug and say, well, we've no reason to fight it if it's gonna stay in the river, so let's go. Here, how do I see where I'm trying to go? You know what? Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Oh, but before I go, the spiteful attack. Check the range. Yeah, that'll be fine. I'm just going to shout, and no more eating people, as I cast Toll the Dead on it.
Alright.
Needs to make a wisdom
that's a
saving throw.
wisdom
Yeah.
I'm sure it's good, those. Does a, 3 pass?
Damn it. Thing's good.
How much damage?
Should be 2d12, so... 14.
14. Alright, takes 14 points of damage.
Necrotic.
Oh, wait. That's not the... I need to be negative 14. Not just 14. Okay.
And then he moves away. Calls for Chris. Ends the turn. Aurelion, what's up?
He's muted.
No.
Okay. Oh, I can't move. Are we all across the thing now?
I believe so.
Yes.
Then we're just continuing on our way.
Unless
the case,
it
I'm
tries
going-
to follow us out of the water, I think.
Well, I'm just going to continue on my way anyway, because that's not something I want to deal with.
But what if we just gave it a bunch more heads? And the next person isn't so well equipped to kill it? And it just keeps killing people?
Going to point down at the tracks that we're following and say, these are the only footprints around here for days. I don't think this is a frequented area. Not to mention the environmental impact of removing such a top-tier predator from an area.
She just kind of shrugs. Alright. So much beeping.
Aurelion, I believe it's your turn.
Yeah, I said I was continuing on.
Ah, I had missed
Okay.
that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are you okay with a straight line?
Yep.
Okay. Are you gonna double move or just
No.
regular move? Okay.
It's regular move.
You're gonna stay in defensive, perhaps?
Yes, I'm going to continue dodging.
Seems good to me. And besides, if it comes out of the water to get us, then we'll deal with it. Tentacle monster.
1 second. Where'd the other one go? There it is. Actually, I need to place these differently. Now that I think about it. Sorry, I'm having to do a little behind the scenes work real quick. I forgot to do it in advance. Oh, come on, let me pick the thing up.
Oh my god, so much!
So much what?
So much pinging! It's everywhere.
It's not my fault. This time.
It necessitated me getting caught up so I could find which channel was pinging at me and sit in it so that it stops pinging at me.
But there's like 3 channels going right now.
Yeah, I got that. It's very distressing.
Oh,
It's mostly Sam's
the-
fault.
I guess I could just,
Excuse
like,
me?
server temporarily.
Rude.
Sam
Okay.
needed to teach people how to
Accurate,
be.
but-
Okay, there is still a D4 sitting on the opposite bank, though.
I like it. It's funny.
Oh,
It's bothering me.
I forgot about it.
It's almost like the llama, but more obvious and
Right.
irritating.
I miss it now.
Well, good.
All
Go
right.
find the llama then.
And as you see, the creature start to move your direction. 5, 10, 15. You'll see a set of 5 arrows come streaking from the trees.
Nice.
Well, I guess the one good thing that came out of this is we found who we're looking for.
I certainly hope so.
Uh.
Anyway.
2 of the arrows seem to be. Oh well, let me rephrase this. When 2 of the arrows impact, they seem to have a burst of flame.
That sounds familiar.
Does it?
Yes, it sounds like
And one
magic weapon I
of the
designed.
last heads explodes,
Sounds like what?
so it's down to 2.
Ooh. It sounds like a weapon I designed a long time ago,
Oh,
based on 4th edition.
nice.
And with that,
Like my shuriken?
I do.
wait.
No, I mean it's like my shuriken.
Ah, yeah.
You
You'd
think
have
that will poof
flame
it into
burst.
fire?
Oh.
Add extra fire.
And with that, it's actually going to. You're going to see it instead of continuing at you. It's going to try and duck itself in the water.
Bye bye.
Blah. Eat.
Yeah. And it seems to be able to hide itself surprisingly well for something that large.
B. Rivers, man. Ever safe.
Actually, what are people's passive perceptions? There might be someone who can beat this.
Let me check.
In the dark? 4.
But Chris has a helmet on.
I guess it would be in the dark. Yeah, because. Yeah. Like, barely, but yeah.
How does darkness affect passive?
Um,
Dark
Minus
vision?
5. Massive. Minus 5.
11 is my passive.
Mine is an 8. And Chris has a 16.
then Chris can see it.
Because of the helmet.
Yeah. I guess probably no effect of a wisdom stat to past clericness.
He does have decent wisdom.
Wait,
yeah.
what? Oh, I see.
So he still has track of it. So I guess he'd be able to tell you that it's moving away. Moving downstream.
It's running.
It tried to bite off more than it could chew.
Ah!
Alright.
It's like, what's going on with the program? Then I realized you were stomping off, and that's why it kept vibrating.
I wasn't sure if it would actually stomp or not when it was hidden. Now I
Yep.
know.
Thump, thump.
Alright. So let me just ask this. Do you guys intend to try and give chase? Or are you just gonna let it run?
The prevailing thought seems to be let it go. So I'm going with that, I suppose.
I want to find out who shot at it.
Yeah, that is the thing.
I care more about finding out who shot at it than chasing after the creature. But if we find the people who shot at it and they want to go after it, then I'd help. So that's how I'm gonna phrase my intention.
Alright, well then I will give a minor spoiler of they're not going to chase after it, so I'm going to drop initiative. So that we
Okay.
can do this in roleplay as desired.
So where did it come from? Behind us? the treesies where Aurelian is, further out.
Well, I need to replace one of these because I just realized I'm in the wrong spot again. I should try teleporting because that is more effective.
Oh,
Well, that'll do.
D4 again.
What?
There's not a D4. That
Well-
Tristan's totally just gonna leave there forever.
Yeah, that is not my. That one's not my fault.
Forgot to tell you
Okay.
who did it.
So, most are like as kind of rules of D&D, when they shoot, they reveal themselves.
Hmm.
So I'll start putting them on the field here. And despite their lighter skin, these are drow.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask. I'm like, I see an elf up there.
There are no drow archers,
Yeah.
so
Bummer.
and my only other options are either copies of you or a female, neither of which are particularly useful in this instance. And they'll start moving your way.
They're on both sides.
Well, that's unsettling.
Well, they won't be. Let me clarify. Not with bows drawn. Like weapons will be down.
Okay.
They're making a lot of assumptions.
Still mildly just being surrounded and not having known we were surrounded.
This one
Smile.
takes a little bit to climb down.
I'm going to call out in common and then undercommon and ask if they speak common.
You'll hear them reply. Hear this one as it's closest. Reply in undercommon. Yes, but not well. But we can try.
Thank you for your assistance with that creature.
You're welcome.
My name is Eskel. May I ask who you are, all of you?
We are some of the few escapees of the Underdark.
You do not serve Loth.
Not if we can help it.
I'm gonna switch back.
I'd guess the same of you, given that shiny, shiny half plate on your chest.
I'm going to switch back to common and say to the others. I think
They will be trying to reply in common, but like I don't have.
I had been
good
speaking in
accents.
undercommon.
like after they had said they don't speak well, they'll be replying in common, but it's kind of broken up. And occasionally they'll be using words that mean roughly the same thing, but you wouldn't generally use in that context.
I had kept.
So kind of a patchwork common.
Sure. I had stayed in undercommon just so that they could communicate easily. But I will turn to the others in common and say, I believe they're who we're looking for. Jesus. What was the name of the gnome who gave me the items?
I have that written down. Where's...
See if I wrote it.
It's gotta be somewhere in my hoard of sticky notes. Notes list. No.
Nope,
No.
I don't have it marked.
I'll check my notebook, but I don't think that my notes on this campaign are pretty sparse.
I'm really bad with names.
That's why I just have a page devoted to all the NPCs I've created.
Yep. I feel like I had, but I think it might have gotten deleted. I'm not sure. I'm starting a new one, and I'm going to make sure I don't lose this one.
I recommend one note.
That could work. All right, let's give it a nice color I don't usually use. Red. Or, I guess, pink. Close enough. It's not a color I use. Okay.
Yeah, pretty much all
So-
my notes in here revolve around Atlas.
I can give him a new name for now, or we could just say you refer to him by name.
Okay.
I'm trying
I
to see if
refer to
can
him
find
by
the plot.
name, and I say I have a message from him and a gift that he wished to pass on to you.
They'll look kind of surprised at that and say, uh, then please show us. And he'll try and wave his people to come over to one side so you're not like surrounded, as that is generally rather aggressive.
I'm gonna call out to Aurelion.
Hold.
Aurelion, are you gonna gather up with us if I called you?
Yep. If you call me back, yeah.
Yeah, I'm calling you back. Is Chris gonna come over?
He'll. I mean, he's seen one of you already, so I mean, he'll stay nearby, but he'll probably keep a relatively safe distance, even though they're archers.
I will pull out the pouch, and I will take the bracelet off, and I'll say he wanted to thank you, all of your people, for caring for him before, and he had used the magic at his disposal to create these items. Some are bracelets, some are rings, other pieces of jewelry, but they will allow you to move about in daylight without suffering.
You'll see. Well, at the description of the items, there'll be a large amount of shock, but also a lot of joy and a little bit of relief when you mention like who these things are coming from.
Yeah, I've been wearing this one for a couple days. It works well.
As I recall, there's like somewhere between like 10 and a dozen.
Yeah, I thought he had made enough for everybody here, just not enough for everybody there and me, so I have to go back and get mine.
They had. That's what I'm trying to point out.
Yeah.
There's more items than there are people.
Right. I figure that the whole village isn't here. I was gonna say, he's made enough for everyone who was there when you helped him.
You'll see kind of a mix of emotions on their face. It's a little hard to place. I'll say. Well, it's certainly taken a long time to make some headway.
I understand the struggle of trying to survive in a world that isn't ready to accept you.
It seems the old gnome was rather hopeful when forging these. While there are a few of us that are not here, there are others who are simply no more. There are more items than there are us.
Please take as many as you need.
You'll see him pull out 7.
Meaning that there are only 2 not present here?
Yep.
Got you. I was hoping to connect with you. To understand how you had separated yourself from Loth.
Well, some of us had opportune moments, along with adequate abilities to sneak away and perhaps not be worth the trouble of being chased after.
How did you meet each other? How did you find one another?
Well, you'll see kind of this. I'm gonna add a base color so I can distinguish them because that's a thing now.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this one's red.
Oh, that's neat.
That is really neat.
This one's green. That's gonna be hard to see. Let's change
Yeah,
that.
not that we can.
I can see that green.
Okay, I see it now. I
You know
if
what?
we're gonna be
His
able to
base
see
is just
anybody else.
in the dirt, so I'm just
Yeah.
gonna.
They
So,
can all
yeah,
fly.
he flies now.
Oh, nice. I like that it colors the flying pad.
And this one's gonna fly. And so is this one, because they are all in the muck.
It's undergrowth.
Oh, we still have battle music on.
Oh, that's right. I should turn that off. I had, my brain entirely forgot what was going on, even though I've been hearing it the entire time.
Well, that's why I forgot. I tuned it out.
Alright, let's get some.
Bleeple.
Are you gonna put on an ambient music? Do you want me to put on an ambient music?
There is an ambient music on. It's just hard to hear over the battle music at the moment. So let's start by turning off.
I didn't know that it could play two musics at a time.
Well, it does the ambient track and the music track.
Oh, no, I meant an ambient music track.
You may if you like. I don't have one in mind on this thing at the moment, so do as you wish.
Just gonna use our standard one.
You'll see the red one who's kind of been acting in charge, more or less. Refer to the one with the yellow base. Let's say me, him, and one of the two that stayed behind. Well, and a couple others. We came up we're able to come out as a group and try and leave clues at our old campsites for any who followed our path. And so every once in a while, there'd be one or two that were able to make the journey. He says it's referring to purple and orange, well, and green. But with the dangers in this place, and the rate at which our kind are able to free themselves, our numbers rarely grow.
Does she still hunt you?
On occasion, but we keep moving. Some days it's hard to tell what's the bigger threat, her or everything else.
We've been gaining allies, making friends as we've traveled. And I think that if you are not making your way here, we might be able to lead you back to the Gnomish village. I can't guarantee that they'll have a place for you, but I know that the man who made these would want to help you further if he could.
As much as we would like that, and perhaps we could, but our presence in a place too long brings death, be it ours or that of someone who happened to be nearby.
No others have come to you since you all escaped?
Maybe perhaps I was unclear. Out of the 7 that you're aware currently exist, 3 of them escaped as a group, and the others have kind of trickled in, like the other 4.
Yes.
So they do arrive every once in a while. We try to keep an eye out for others, such as ourselves, and leave clues of places they can go for us to find them, but not places for them to find us. At camps we had been at if they ever find a lead.
That's a very difficult existence.
It has been. But this here, this is proof that there is progress. It's certainly not an everyday occurrence that we receive a kindness, even if it's from someone we've saved.
Is there perhaps anything that we can do before we move on? Any supplies you need that might help in the long run?
How knowledgeable is your group in healing? We have one that's injured. That's why two stayed behind. One to rest, the other to watch.
My friend, I say, indicating Dirk, and I serve the god Bahamut, and we have been granted the power to heal.
And your assistance would be greatly appreciated. Along with likely a great many questions, as it seems your journey to the surface has been much different than ours.
I hope it was. Mine was not pleasant.
Well, sadly, I think that's the one thing they have in common.
I am glad to see that others have escaped both.
But, I don't mean to cut this conversation short, but if you truly can heal him, the sooner the better. It's...
Yes. Dirk,
We'll do what we can.
They'll start leading you kind of northwest. There's a fairly thick grove of trees not far from here that we were planning to camp in. We have our friend resting there. And I'm just going to move red because moving all of them at the same time is a pain because there's no group select. For a second because I need to actually add in their tokens because I forgot to do that as well. Give them some colored bases.
What about keeps pausing for me?
It's a connection. The bots
Okay.
are bad APIs these days.
Base color.
Very sad. But somebody out there didn't like them, and they've been working to kill them, and they're slowly succeeding.
Alright, where to put red? There's red. So he's gonna keep heading this direction. Take a right around the spin of trees. Let's see.
Oh, I'm a dummy.
What?
I was wondering at all the trees that didn't have tops, and then I realized it's because I lowered the ceiling.
Yep, it happens. When you get to pretty much like this corner of trees, will say, he kind of hold up his hand for you guys to wait a minute. As just barging in, could be a problem.
Yay, arrows to the face.
Let's call out a name in Undercommon, which I'm pulling up now, and then I will make sure I have my list so I don't forget it.
I have 7 to drow names.
Yep. I just got it. get it. Where's my list go?
But it's pops.
Alright, a little further. Alright. Yeah, that'll work. I think. Although my pronunciation of it may be different from what spelling indicates, because I'm terrible at getting the correct pronunciation of things from just text. Hello. Put your bow down. We've returned, and for once, we've brought friends. And then he'll kind of step around and wait for you to follow. Eskel, that was it?
Yes. Eskel Trenier, Paladin of Bahamut.
It is, without a doubt, a pleasure to meet you. If you can help as you say, please tend to him, he says, gesturing towards White. He got a bad scrape from a battle we were in recently. We've managed to keep the wound relatively clean, but there's been a fair bit of blood loss, and, well, not much we can do about that.
Your name was Alar?
You'll see the one behind him. No, that would be me.
My apologies. I'm going to take
This
care
one
of
here is Lucan.
Lucan. Does he look feverish or mostly just in pain?
Mostly just in pain.
Okay. Lucan, I'm going to tend to your wounds using magic granted me by Bahamut. And... I'm actually going to use my spell. I'm going to cast Cure Wounds on him.
Alright.
What?
No, I was just sorry. I'm just looking
As
at
you
my
cast it,
internet.
you'll find the roll is maximized.
Oh, good, excellent. So, I think I get to add my charisma to that, so it should be 19 points.
Excellent. You'll see a surprising amount of life return to this, to Lucan.
I'm going to then pull a field ration out of my bag and place it in his hands.
Thank you. Well, I guess that gets any trust issues out of the way. As you served her, you certainly wouldn't have helped.
Muhammad guides me to protect those who are incapable of protecting themselves.
He nods, happily.
Not that you'll be that way for long. I have heard of the difficult road you had, but I met a gnome along the way who wanted to give all the drow of this group a gift. I'm going to signal to the red one. He knows that you struggle with the curse of Lolth every day, and this should make that a little easier on you.
He'll kind of look at the both of you. Never really thought I'd hear that. For a number of reasons.
I have offered to your friends to take you back to the village where the man who made these lives, but they have said that they do not wish to put those people in danger, and I understand this.
Yes. The thing that got me was, well, not directly one of her minions. They certainly can be subservient when given the right motivation.
Not a drow.
No. Quaggoth is what did it. Large, beast-like thing, but still humanoid in shape.
I remember them.
Oh, yeah. We did see those tracks, didn't we? I'm not saying that in character, I'm just listening in character. Sorry.
Sharp teeth, he says, gesturing to one thing that was, so one smaller bit that was healed, and much sharper claws, he says, gesturing towards the main wound.
Yes, your fight with the Quaggoth was how we found you.
Well, at least he was good for something.
Did you defeat it? Kill the creature?
Yes.
Good. I am afraid.
They're strong trackers, and even the option to flee. It would have found us sooner or later, and when we were less prepared.
Well, I'm afraid that beyond the healing, some food, and, I don't know, maybe some sword practice, I haven't much else to offer you, but your group seems intent upon surviving on their own. But I wanted you to know that you have other options.
Oh, you have a great deal to offer.
Tilt my head to one
Mostly
side.
answers to a great many questions I can assure you we all have.
As long as I get to ask some too.
We certainly wouldn't want to be unfair now, would we? You hear that coming from not the intro, but the one behind him. Who I have his name written down, I forgot the pronunciation.
Alar.
Alar?
I'm just going to smile at them. Alright, you first.
Alright, let me grab the other tokens just in case.
Yeah, at this juncture, I'm actually gonna, say, I can offer us some degree of protection as we rest, exchange stories, what have you. Unfortunately, it only fits 10 of us. Is this something that we are interested in? It would be a dome, opaque from the outside. Anyone inside could see out of it perfectly fine. It's just anyone without would not be able to see in.
I mean, I suppose that's a question for the rest of you. We all have questions and would need to be inside, from the sounds of it, to ask them. So it depends on if the others are willing to stay outside.
We said that we can talk freely through it, right? And also, the only one restricted to being within would be me. Right. Anyone who is in the area as it's cast can walk freely in and out of it.
Yeah.
Anyone outside of it is stuck outside of it. Yeah. I'm stuck inside of it.
Yes. Well, I think we want to save that for when we want to rest. I think, and I look to the one with the red base and say, if you believe the area is safe enough now that we have driven off the Hydra and you've killed the Quaggoth, we should be able to speak here.
It was safe enough we are willing to take the chance at least. We're planning to rest just a few feet from here. He says, kind of gesturing to the incredibly dense pack of trees to the west of you.
I think that we should reserve that spell to protect us for sleep.
She will nod and settle in. Make herself a nice cozy little patch of log or other seating. Actually, no. I'm gonna stand and I'm gonna watch. I'm watching
Drow, or for things not the drow?
for things not the drow.
Fair enough.
This is important for Eskel. It's less important for me. Although we do have important questions also.
Yes, those are the questions I want to ask. I was going to say, it's important for all of us.
Yes, but for now, it seems like
You'll hear the Red One speak up. I suppose I should introduce myself. Sorry, we don't get a chance to do that often. I'm Roland. And I'd imagine the first question on all of our minds is how it is you came to the surface. Especially in the service of Bahamut.
It's not a story I like telling, but I will share it if you are very interested.
I'm actually gonna kind of slowly approach Eskel, put a hand on his shoulder, and say, "Would you like privacy with them?"
You see him visibly, hesitate, thinking, turning something over in his mind before he shakes his head. He closes his eye, and you do see that, as he opens it again, they seem a bit wet. He says, No, we're traveling together. You should know, too.
Melisari blinks away her own wetness and just kind of gives a little space.
Just want to quickly double check, because now it's been so long since I've thought about it. Some names aren't fully in the front of my mind.
And you'll see them actually kind of start crowding around a bit, making sure they can all hear.
Story time!
A little bit, yeah.
There it is. I'm really disappointed in the way the bots are working these days. I am...
I've turned on some in-game music so we can shut off the bot that keeps starting and stopping.
Yeah. Derek, do you recall, what the, clan name we had used was?
I don't, but should be pinned in our DMs.
That would be nice. I know that the story is. I found that easily enough. I want to make sure I get these first time. Okay, here we go.
Let's see. Should be roughly around
Yes,
here.
Shadowbend. Found it. It's in the pins. Just going to... he's going to take a breath. Closing his eyes a moment. Again. Or saying... I was born into House Shadowbend. And I was raised as any of you were.
They all kind of look down at that, but, Alyssa look to you kind of with a, telling look.
But I was never really comfortable with what we were being asked to do. And I didn't pull my weight. And as you all know, when one soldier doesn't do their job, they don't get to stay. I was put on the front lines, hoping that I would just be among the casualties in the first wave of a raid. And I was the last to be counted after a raid. But I kept coming back. Even I kept hoping that I would be claimed by one of these fights, and it never happened. Until one night after one of our surface raids, a particularly successful one in the eyes of my community, surface struck back. Suddenly, we were the ones being raided. It was a contingent of soldiers from the Isle of Heaven, followers of Pelor, Bahamut, and the newly formed following of the Raven Queen. The community. They gathered up the children, the food, what they could take with them, and fled. I tried to go with them, as I always did, but I was stopped by one of the raid leaders who had a particular distaste for me. He beat me and left me to die, hoping that killing me would distract the soldiers chasing the community long enough that they could get away. I suppose he was right, and that worked. The soldiers came, and I asked them to kill me. I had participated in the raids that had cost many lives and hurt many others. I told them I would not fight back because I deserved it. And I expected them to cut me down, as they were doing to other Drow soldiers around me. But this stubborn old dragonborn, he had me pinned to the ground. And when I asked him, demanded that he take my life, he refused. I was unarmed and unwilling to defend myself. And he told me that his god would not allow him to slay such a person. And then he asked me what I would do, what I would say, if I was offered a chance to not fix things, but make things better instead of worse. What if I could help prevent the damage that my community had been causing? I didn't believe that I could be given such a chance, but I told him that were such a thing offered, I'd take it. I thought he was just toying with me before killing me. But he pulled me to my feet and put me in front of the other paladins, all clad in silver and bedecked with dragons, and said that he was going to take me to the temple for training. The others, they reacted more like I expected. Called him a fool. Said they'd kill me for him. But he defended me. I don't know what he saw in me. I didn't see anything in myself at that time. But he took me back to the surface, just like he said he was going to. Plopped me into the temple, handed me a wooden sword, and said, "Now you train." They taught me the ways of Bahamut. Not that I needed much telling, I already felt that my community was oppressing people who couldn't defend themselves, and I wanted that to stop, so I took to it easily enough. Training was a few years, and now I'm out on assignments. And here I am. And here you are.
You'll hear Roland, aka the Red One, speak up and say, I won't speak for the rest, but it does my heart good to know that not only are there some others making their way to the surface in different parts of the world, but there are some willing to give us a second chance.
It took me by surprise as well. And now, I want to make sure that other people have that chance too. Same chance that Srazar gave me. I know you fought for this. That's why I want to help you if I can. Because I didn't do this alone. We all need... He passes his eyes over the gathered drow. Family. Okay, my turn to ask a question, he says, rubbing an eye.
Luke was about to speak up and say, well, we asked a heck of a question to start. I don't think it's only fair you get a turn.
I want to know about something that happened a long time ago. We are seeking information about a man we think might have come into contact with your group or the people who are part of it before you, but one that is probably remembered by those. I want to know if you know the name Atlas, a human knight.
You'll see recognition in the faces of Roland. Can't remember how to pronounce Blue's name because I'm bad with names.
Alar,
and Yellow. Well, yeah, Yellow. Whose name you've not heard yet.
I was gonna say, can't help you there.
Well, that one I know how to say, and I have written down. I even have the token named him.
Cool.
So, I know what his name is, but you don't yet.
Gotcha.
What's your
Can we
recognition?
assume that these were the three who left together?
Well, you know that that is the case for red and yellow.
And he did say that one of them back where they had kind of camped,
And
right?
so either blue or white. And so based on this reaction,
Yeah,
blue is a
guess.
safe assumption.
I thought white was Alar.
No.
Whatever. Okay, blue was Alar. Oh,
white
yeah,
is
yeah,
Logan.
that's right. White was the one who was injured. Okay.
So, Roland will speak for the group, as he tends to do. Yes, we're familiar with that name. It's been a very long time since I've heard it. He was one of the first to show us a kindness. But to answer your question in full, some things must be explained. We, gestures, the lot of them, have never found acceptance in any village or small group we've come across. And in the small pieces of acceptance we did find, we learned that death would follow should we stay. At least here, where places are already hard to protect, defend, feed, as it is. So we've tried to make headway by going at night on anything remotely resembling main travel paths in search of those overwhelmed by the dangers of this land and seeking to tip the scales in their favor, much like we tried to do here with that beast in the water.
I'm glad to hear it. Glad you helped.
While he was not the first we tried this with, he was the first that believed we were not his enemies, and was able to assist one of our companions much as you have today.
I'm glad to know that there was once kindness in him.
Once? What? Whenever I particularly saw him again, did something happen? No. Actually, as a matter of fact, why do you even know of him? He should be dead.
Should be. But he isn't. Well, he is. Something is exactly what we're trying to find out. Something happened. Led him to break his oath as a paladin. And now he continues to stalk these lands, commanding undead as a Death Knight. We wish to put him to rest, for he has endangered many lives. We learned through study of the histories of this place, I say, indicating Melisari, that he had been hired long ago to remove the threat of drow from the area and had failed to do so. And shortly thereafter, a person he cared for very much was taken hostage by his employers, and he destroyed all of them. We don't know the details beyond that, though. They were the dwarves of what is now known as the Forgotten Fortress, and he had raised all of them as skeletons to defend the place for the last, he shakes his head, 500 years. were just there. We destroyed the skeletons. We defeated him. But he will rise again, as Death Knights are wont to do. But we met the person who had been taken from him. And she was a spirit trapped there. But we don't know what binds her precisely, except for him. And we don't know what he did to break his oath, or what his oath was, so we can't lay either of them to rest. If he showed you kindness, then perhaps you might be compelled to share any details you know that could help us complete this story, understand what we're dealing with.
We do not know his story. We can share our side of it, at the least.
At this point, anything will help. All we have are dwarven records, which are incomplete.
Malasari kind of snorts at that.
It's not a lie. It's just vague.
Oh, she's irritated about everything. Because she also considers the journals incomplete. That's more what she's annoyed about.
Well, the things that I can think of that may apply here, as I'm one of the few who was actually there to remember it, are after we had more or less saved each other, him from the fight, us from the wounds, we had done our best to give him a way to find us again, should he need help. Perhaps that's why they wanted him specifically, believing us to be like the rest. And from their point of view, they would have known we were in the area, because we had been found early on during the day. Evidently, our camp was not as hidden as we had hoped. And so, some fell on both sides. We tried to keep their casualties to a minimum, but if it was us or them, we chose us. And so, well, they may have kept an eye out for further signs of us. I don't know on that front, but they knew we were there. They knew we were dangerous because they had us by surprise. They had us slightly outnumbered, and yet we got away with less casualties than they did. While fear was not our intention or something we wanted to give them, regardless, I expect that was the effect. Perhaps they learned of his connection to us, or maybe they just thought he would be good at finding Drow for some reason. But they likely saw us as a danger and wanted us removed. But if it was him they came to, he would have known better.
Well, he didn't come to destroy you, so I suspect that's true.
Yeah, we never did see him again after our first exchange. From the sounds of it, if we did see him, it would just be a skeleton stealing his name.
He's still in there, and that's probably worse. He's twisted. Not the man he once was. And the only way that we can help him, and everyone else around who may fall victim to him, is by finding a way to restore him. We learned from our friends in the clergy of the Raven Queen that a Death Knight must be made to face the atrocities which caused them to break their oath and repent. We need to figure out what those are. But we still have yet to figure out what his oath really was, because the information we've gathered so far doesn't make sense.
Well, from the little we know of paladins, my understanding is, while they have a general set of guidelines, depending on which oath it is they take, the specifics are still based on the person's convictions. And he'll say this in Undercommon, because there's far too many complicated words there for him to get it out in Common.
Mm-hmm.
The best I know
Mhm.
of his personality at the time, he had 3 primary concerns. 1, making sure no harm came to the woman he was traveling with. 2, trying to keep collateral damage to a minimum. And 3, making sure that those who would not repent paid in full.
Can I get 1 and 2 again?
Was that still in Undercommon, or did they start
I'm gonna be
Those are
yeah, I'm gonna be
That's simple
translating.
enough that would have been common.
Yeah. For any of the times that they're using Undercommon, I'm going to be translating for the benefit of my group.
Yeah. Okay. Minimize collateral damage from what? What was he here to do?
His own actions was the best I could tell. He seemed set on something he wasn't up to sharing at the time. But he wanted to make sure that when he accomplished his goal, no one else got hurt in the process. But to answer your question, Tristan, 1 was he was primarily concerned with the safety of the woman he was traveling with.
Yep.
And 2, what was just stated, that he was trying to avoid collateral damage.
Right.
Pursue his goal without unnecessary death, destruction, pain.
If that's... And he had listed these out to them?
There had been some you'll hear this from Roland. There had been a little bit of conversation about it, as this was the first person we'd been able to get to talk to us. We were interested in, well, what he was about. But some of it was more observed rather than spoken. Specifically that first part.
Askel's going to turn to the rest of the party, like with light in his eyes. Say, 2. And 1. Failed. He failed to protect her, and then he caused unnecessary damage. She doesn't know. She doesn't know the oath he swore.
Melisari's kind of mulling something over. How to phrase this? How, I guess, specific are oaths in their wording, and then what is required to sort of break them, if that makes sense? What constitutes breaking them in regards to how specific?
Esco looks to Dirk.
So I'm just thinking, if these were not... if these were his convictions, but not necessarily the specific oaths that he took... I mean, I don't know the process. And she's kind of looking back and forth between the two of you.
While I'm sure there are some paladins who fixate upon the words specifically and their meaning that way, the conviction and the intent is what gives us our powers. So he would need to go against, and also to the voice in the sky, let me know if I'm wrong.
You're right so far. If you want, I could put it out there a little more concisely, but I think you're doing fine.
He would need to forsake the intent of his oath, in order to truly break it.
So it's less the words that matter and more the intent. She's kind of confirming that while nodding to herself. Then, yes, I suppose that would do it. Unless, of course, that last bit, those who would not repent, paid in full, unless terms can change to some degree. In terms of minimizing collateral damage, that is. Am I making sense?
He doesn't have to undo the damage he did, he simply has to acknowledge it.
No, I know, but I mean, his third conviction, as presumed, or spoken out loud, that may have been a very specific one that he spoke out loud.
The last two were spoken, but
yeah.
I must say, this was, even by Elven standards, a very long time ago. Yeah. Memory is a hard thing to trust going back that far.
Out of character, this was like 500 years ago, right? This dude is old.
Yes, he's old as dirt. Like, he's nearly at the max of his lifespan for
elves don't live that much longer than that.
But they don't get old. That's the nice thing. They just sort of disappear.
Yeah, like,
crumble to
basically, they turn 20 and never look any different
until they die, and then the only difference is now they're dead and 20. So, in any event, point is, that this, even if the wording is flawed by memory, it's different enough from what we heard that I believe that the oath is not what Eleanor believes it to be.
That was her name. Couldn't remember it for the life of me. No, that's in character, just for the record.
Yeah, no, I figured.
Sorry, kind of chuckles, but then gets serious again. I just mean in terms of minimizing collateral damage, conflicting with those who would not. Oh my god, I can't speak. I say this fluidly in character.
You saw what
it-
those skeletons were doing when we were in there, before they came to attack us. We found some of them simply performing their duties. I postulate, I put
That
forth
he didn't give them a chance.
that
Or
he
that
went
they
in and
didn't
wanted
know.
to make them suffer and destroyed people who were
Yes.
not fighting him. Yes.
Okay, yes. This is fair.
And that would be unnecessary collateral damage.
Although I am still...
You know, not
Sure, yes.
every person inside that fortress was responsible for whatever happened to Eleanor.
Yes. But I am still curious. Not specific to him at this point, but could it shift like that if originally his intent was those who had, say, wronged him by robbing him of his previous life would not repent? If somebody else wronged him by taking Eleanor, that could shift. And if he had just stuck to those responsible who gave them a chance to repent and they didn't, that would still fulfill his oath? Or is it specific to those he had in mind when he first set out?
Vengeance oaths are difficult, each unique, but you get power from the strength of the promise, the bond with yourself, with your convictions. And if what we're being told is accurate, and he swore that he would never cause unnecessary collateral damage, never destroy somebody who hadn't, in his mind, and that is the difficult part, in his mind, being a part of what was wrong, been directly responsible for what was wrong. If he was at any time aware that he was destroying people who didn't fully deserve it for what they had done, then he was breaking his oath.
I understand that. I'm asking more in a hypothetical sense at this point.
Can he I guess I'm not understanding the word shift in this case. Like, is the oath shifting? The oath doesn't change.
You're asking if the oath could broaden with his sense of injustice.
Yes, I suppose that's what I'm thinking. In terms of, originally he was trying to, per Eleanor, right the wrongs against him by... What did he say? Did he say they were clerics of Bahamut? Who lied about him? And caused him to lose his title and his money and all that?
That seemed to be what he believed them to be.
Okay.
Eleanor believed them, well, but this was under the impression that's what they were as well. Should put that out there.
I think Dirk says what he said.
I don't know. I should have just kept that to myself. Sorry. I'm still working on lowering my rate of interjections.
Yes, anyway. It was a mere curiosity, not relevant to our current task, but...
I don't
that's
think
how
it would be...
paladins work.
I don't think it would be unreasonable to think that an oath originally made to seek vengeance on those who have committed injustice upon him wouldn't necessarily be limited to those
That...
immediately that had done so at that point.
Okay.
So these other people committed injustices upon him as he saw it, and his he's fulfilling his oath by moving in that respect.
Yes. Okay. Curiosity sated. But yes, I do agree that Eleanor's death and his
Rampage.
wanton destruction of the dwarves in the fortress are likely enough, based on the knowledge we have now.
I just look to Roland and I say, you swear this is as accurate as you can be, given the time?
It is what I believe to be the truth. It is as accurate as I can be.
Despite your protestations, I think you might have helped us a great deal.
Yeah, I believe that does make it our turn.
He kind of grimaces and says, yes, I suppose you're right. What do you want to know?
This should be less painful, more informative, I expect. How did you make it to the surface without Illustray? Like, we heard your story, but her name was entirely removed from it.
I'm trying to remember if my character was ever made aware of her before now. Or
Nope.
if this is my... Okay, I thought so. He's just gonna kind of, like, stare at the man for a while. Before he says, I'm sorry, who?
Is this something a history or religion roll might inform anyone of?
I mean, you're a sage, so I guess you, like, kind of, that is kind of the background feature of you get a chance, but I'm not gonna lie, it's a darn hard check, but
I'm
you can
gonna
roll...
guess I would have to roll a 20 if
you
that
can-
would even get it.
You may roll history or religion, if you wish.
Oh my god, I did crit. That's a 27.
25!
What?
Beat the 25!
25?
It was, like, your knowledge is certainly not gonna be complete, because,
Yeah.
in other words, it's gonna wreck the entire continuity of this, because you would have brought it up to Eskel.
It's
So,
like, it's a
but
vague...
like,
I'm guessing it's like a vague thing I've
it's a name you've heard, and you'll have a general idea of who she is. So I will put this out there for you, and then continue with what they were saying. Illustray is a second goddess of the Drow, but one that wants to lead them to the surface in more or less peace and harmony with the rest of the world, as opposed to seeing it burned in flame. And more importantly, is the child of both Lolth and Corellin that got the bad end of the divorce.
Oh my. Oh yeah, I forgot. They were, like, lovers?
Yep, and then the god of love went and changed that. And then Lolth kind of pissy about it, and that's where the drow come from.
Kind of went off the deep end?
Little bit.
I mean...
She did not take it well.
Illustray doesn't wield much power in comparison with Lolth, so that's kind of why she's very unknown, is that...
Yes.
Like, even the people who have heard the name, they don't see the impact of her, so at best she's a myth, a legend.
Yes. Yeah. That is the full extent of what you could know, but it's vague, it's mostly myth, you're not sure what parts of it are accurate, if any, but it is a name you've heard.
So I kind of, like, start and
So,
watch more intently, listen more intently.
Roland will continue. Then it seems her name hasn't reached as far as we'd hoped. Well, and I'm certain you're aware of our source of origin, if you will. She has a child with quite a different view on things.
What?
Illustray is a goddess, but a small one.
You're trying to say that the Spider Queen herself has a daughter?
That is what we are able to make of it, yes.
How have I never heard of this?
Well, given Illustray's mission is to liberate the Drow from her and lead them to the surface, I expect she would take any and all opportunities to stamp out her name.
And even on...
Frankly, the fact that we've heard it, especially here, or more accurately, under here, he says, kind of stomping at the ground a little, is a miracle in and of itself.
I spent the last 3 years on the Isle of Heaven, where all of the good and neutral gods are represented. I looked at Derek, incredulous. Did you? No?
Dirk shakes his head. And there's surprise on his face at, not having any knowledge of this.
Melisari looks vaguely uncomfortable.
Then maybe she be praised that we were able to pass on this information, especially to one more well protected and integrated as she would like. One that I would hope can continue to pass this to any he finds.
I think I can think of some better ways to help you.
But that is why, that is what has led us here. Those of us who, at least some of us, the main three, red, blue, and green, or is it yellow? I think it's yellow.
Red, blue, and yellow.
Yeah, red, blue, and yellow. Yeah, right. It was the primary colors. That was my logic there.
Clever.
The reason we left as a group, we had heard whispers, had been given information from places unknown, and it's what led us to our discovery, and what helped us to escape and lead a trail, small as it may have been, for others to follow.
Have you managed to make contact? Has she helped you directly? She must.
Very, very rarely. Like I said, I don't know what causes this, but by comparison to the others known to the surface, her power is quite weak. Despite our desire, none of us have been able to be granted powers like you or a cleric might have.
He seems to absorb this and nods. There is a resolution in his eyes that was not there earlier. I think that you have given us a great boon of information, and that, in return, we can use it to start making a lot of important changes.
He kind of raises an eyebrow at this. What? Do you happen to have a woman of our kind stashed away somewhere you've been able to convert? He says somewhat jokingly, looking around at the lot of them all being male.
Esco looks incredibly confused by this quip.
Poor Esco.
No? Look, if I can bring this information back to the Isle of Heaven, the good gods there would want another ally to turn the tides on Wolf.
But what if they already knew?
They can't have. If they knew, we would know.
Well, I will take your word for it.
Do I have thoughts on this?
What?
Would I have thoughts on this? Based on having bare minimum knowledge and where I might have gleaned that knowledge from?
You know you wouldn't have gotten it from the Isle of Heaven, surprisingly.
Okay, so they might not have known. Okay.
Like, there's a chance there might be, like, a text old as dirt that somehow got buried and lost in a library of Ione, but honestly, with where the influence of its discovery and subsequent crushing, the Isle of Heaven is unlikely to have the information, that particular information.
Okay.
First, we need to deal with Atlas. You better stay on the move, because if he still knows how to find you, as you said he used to be able to...
It certainly was not magical in origin. It was information, and if we know to avoid him, that information is now useless.
Good. Because we haven't yet solidified how we're dealing with him. And he will be back soon. Should probably check on that.
I think it's...
So, wait, you pull out the pot.
Hold on.
Soon.
Yeah. Soon.
Your guesstimate is 4 to 6 days.
4 to 6. Alright.
Hours?
Days.
Weeks? Days. Always need a unit on that.
He said days. I didn't.
You'll actually,
Days. Plenty of
as
time.
conversations start to go down a little bit, you'll see Chris start to approach,
I did notice.
looking as if he has something to say, but not wanting to interrupt.
I want to lid the thing and tie it back up and just say 4 days, maybe a little more, but that's all I think we have. Gonna go with the bottom of my estimate here, just to make sure we're not late on it. I guess I'll feel Chris, hear him approaching, and turn.
As I am in the process myself of trying to come from a dark place to the light, I have something I'd like to offer. Your group here, he says, referring to Roland, if I may.
Esco smiles and nods.
I'm gonna step out of the way to give him space.
I once wielded divine power, and was able to heal, and, well, when that was lost for reasons both good and ill, I took to learning the more mundane approaches, and it seems, while you may know some things, little expertise passed on certainly couldn't hurt.
Yeah, I was waiting for a moment to be able to use that. But I couldn't know that he would want to do anything here. I was thinking more about the Hydra combat.
Yep. Yeah, and just like that feat, it made sense kind of based
It
on
did.
his background.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So, I'd imagine, given from such a you're out all night, you'll be resting soon, and perhaps I could teach you a little either during or after. I mean, from my understanding, the rest of you could use some rest as well, he says, looking to the rest of the party.
As he is sharing this information, Eskel's going to approach him and place his hands on the man's pauldrons of his armor. And he's going to be smiling broadly. He's like, yes, This is a good thing you do. Thank you.
He'll get off his pack and start digging through it for his medical supplies. Because it's big enough that's not something you exactly keep on a belt.
Yeah. We should get ready to turn in, everyone.
At that, Roland will say, well, at least according to Forrest over there, this set of trees should be big enough for the lot of us if you're looking for a place. Well, I guess we were originally worried about the sun, but thanks to you, that's not really a problem.
You'll get to switch your sleeping patterns.
It would be nice to see what things look like in color for more than an hour a day.
We'll also get to switch our sleeping patterns, he says, pulling the bracelet he had been wearing back out of the bag now that he's been left with extras, putting it back on his wrist.
I have a request.
Correct.
As I have said on occasion, some trickle through up from the Underdark.
Roland.
Yeah, this is Roland speaking. Well, I certainly don't want to take the one you use for yourself. If you wouldn't mind letting us keep the extras for any that may find us, it would be appreciated. I feel all should have their moment in the sun.
He like, stops with as he's, like, latching it. He goes, oh, yeah, that, makes sense. He puts it back in the bag and offers the bag.
No. Like I said, all. That includes you.
I was told that I could, pick up one made specially for me from the man who made these. He wanted all of these to go to you.
Oh. Well, then you both have my thanks. All ours. Those here and those yet to find us.
I'm just glad we did find you. It was not a certain thing.
Well, the feeling's mutual. I'm afraid Lucan here, while he may have pulled through, the odds were not particularly in his favor. And there's one thing, roleplay-wise, I'd like to point out. You are aware that there was, like, some extra power dumped into your healing when you healed him. Like, not something that you would normally have.
I see. So I am aware that that was another hand on my shoulder.
Yes, that at least something else was influencing it.
It did not feel like Bahamut, I take it.
It felt divine, but it's hard to pinpoint. Your assumption would be Bahamut, because you've not particularly felt any other divine's influence.
No.
Well, aside from perhaps Lolth's trying to crush you into despair for
Yeah.
your clerics, but it didn't feel like that.
Well, I'm grateful for the boost either way. I'm glad that Lucan will make it, and thank you for bringing me to him. Whenever I run into other drow from the Underdark, I try to convince them the merit of staying on the surface and turning from lost teachings, so I rarely have success.
Rarely? That means you have at least had some.
he casts a sheepish glance back at Dirk. He says, well, there was one or two that, I was able to send to the Isle of Heaven who, chose it.
And as you're like what? How old are you in character?
19.
19.
So then you're not 20 yet, so he can tell you're still very young.
Yeah.
So he'll actually look astonished. Like, you've not only missed React 1, but possibly 2 in a few short years. Do you have any idea how many decades that takes us?
I don't. I only know that most of the drow that I've spoken to, would rather fight us to the death than stay on the surface and defy Lolth.
Indeed. It is sad, but you've been able to find a few. And, at least compared to us, quite quickly at that. I don't know if it's you, something helping you, or just maybe things aren't quite as difficult over in the other continents.
I mean, that might be a part of it.
Regardless, I must commend you.
He's, like, rubbing the back of his head, clearly not used to having praise heaped upon him in this way. Especially not from Drow.
Melisari's just gonna, like, put a hand on his shoulder.
I'm only giving people the same chance that I was given.
Indeed. But it is a rare chance to receive. Thank you.
Bahamut guides my path.
And Illustrator guides ours. Hopefully they will cross more than once.
He smiles crookedly at that. Says, yes, hopefully. We should rest. We'll depart after. But we want to be nearby. He corrects himself. I want us to be nearby. Lucan hasn't fully healed yet.
And my offer to include as many of you as you wish in, the spell's called Liamon's Tiny Hut. That still stands.
It's amazing that only one person has to be excluded.
2.
Oh, it's 2. I missed Blue.
Yeah. There's 7 of them and 5 of us, and I fit 10, including me.
Yeah.
I'll say to that, well, I certainly appreciate it, and at least for Lucan's health, I'll ask that you allow him in, and if others wish to stay in there, they may, but personally, especially now with these, I have spent far too long under the cover of darkness. I wish to see the light.
She smiles at this and nods. Oh, actually, there is one more question. You may very well not have an answer for it, but we did hear tell of a group of drow, I think closer to Mistal, who were scrapping a gorgon, or doing something. What the hell were they doing with the gorgon again?
Taking its body, yes.
Yeah. Ah, well, that was one of our more recent failures for recruitment. We were not able to get any of them to join us, but we made sure the body didn't go to them. As a matter of fact, we needed the body for its metal. We cannot safely venture underground for any depth. So, being able to take the metal that is its body for weapons, armor, arrowheads, it's quite vital.
Much relief.
A huge relief, yeah.
One less thing to worry about.
I was concerned that a group of Lolth's sworn drow had taken it and might be using it to enter Mount Mistal undetected. I'm very glad to hear you have it.
I don't know what their purpose was with it, but they certainly tried to take it, and they most definitely do not have it. For once you strip the middle of it, it's actually quite flammable. Dark,
Good.
I know, but it's a
Very nice.
fact of life here.
We haven't spent much time on Elysium, but we've spent enough time. Know that that is standard operating procedure.
We burned the bodies.
We burned the bodies.
You know, I heard that coming through the forest once. I couldn't for the life of me figure out where that was coming from.
Like you said, dark, but it's a way of life.
And with that, I'm gonna pause here since we are just over time.
Yeah.
I don't
It's a
know
good
about you guys, but
stopping
that felt
point.
like a good session to me.
Indeed.
We had 2
Much
story
information
times.
had. So much
Lots of good information.
And
Bit information heavy, lore building, bit of combat. And that's probably my preferred balance for a session, actually.
I like that we walked away from the thing and it's like, fine, I'm not getting out of the water
Yeah.
for you. It's like, okay, cool.
Well,
Like,
it
fuck
was
this guy.
thinking about it, and then it got hit with fire, and its heads didn't regenerate, and I was like, nope, going now.
Ah.
Yeah, without the fire, it was about to have like twice the heads and be much more dangerous and much harder to kill. Because if it has more heads than you have people fighting it, you can't kill it by head explosion, and every head you kill, like, it basically reduces the damage you did to it by 20 and gives it an extra attack. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Hydras are mean.
Yes,
Why?
I knew that, but I also had a, oh, this is going really poorly plan.
Yeah.
It was going fine still,
It
though.
was, but you were going away from it. I was missing my point for them to, like, missing my opportunity for them to show what they do. So it's like, well, Arrow Barrage, go!
Yay.
Go, Arrow Barrage. Coolsies. So when's our next session? Is it next Saturday?
Let me double check my calendar.
Do we level up?
Milestone,
Milestone.
Let me think. That was a big fight, regardless of if, because even if you just booked it, that's still
That's
clearing it
still-
because that thing is dangerous.
Oh yeah.
And
we got a ton of information for the next step.
So let me think. Your last level up was
A while.
after clearing the fortress.
Does that sound right?
I think so. That sounds right to me.
We've done a lot since then.
Yeah, there's been at least a good, I think, 6-7 sessions. That's like nearly 2 months of sessions. So, yes, this feels like an opportune moment to drop a level.
Yay.
Let's do it.
Milestone.
Milestone.
Ding.
Yay.
Hey, buddy. Alright. So, we'll see you next week.
Let me make sure I have all these names written down on something other than the tokens for when I inevitably delete these by accident.
You just
2 weeks from now will be my birthday. Kind of. It's on Friday, but whatever.
happy to birthday.
I'll let you guys know once I have official plans whether that Saturday is still going to be okay.
Okay.
Alright. Appreciate the heads up.
Mm-hmm.
It's time.
What's time?
It's time.
Were you getting a cool thing?
I'm getting my feet.
No, that means we need to make the
Aw, shit.
decision about Sentinel versus
Yeah.
Feats.
great weapon.
Oh,
Great,
fuck.
whatever the fuck it's called.
Great
Power
weapon
attack
master.
one.
Great weapon master.
Oh, that means I have more decisions than usual too. And I already struggle with the decisions I do have.
Well, what's your intelligence score?
18, I think.
Then, easy choice. Just dump it into ends.
But I could get clean
that was the other
mine.
option.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
But that would only bring you up to an odd number.
No, I know, but it's still a thing. That is useful.
I like the idea of, with a Vengeance Paladin with Sentinel just making the attack of opportunity to just be able to book it.
Like, it would be
As it
super annoying for a the polearm master, because then he could make a attack of opportunity and then back up. So even
Yeah.
if you have polearm master, you could get yourself out of range. Even if they're using a polearm.
Yes.
The mixture of Sentinel and of Vengeance Paladin is funny.
Yeah. I'm going for my resilient dexterity, just so that you know, Sam. So I don't have Sentinel yet either. That's my level 12 one.
Then I think
If-
it should be Sentinel.
Yeah, I mean, if that
Because
affects
it's one
your
that I've been
decision.
wanting, and if you're not gonna get it, then I think one of us having it is a good idea.
I also think that, and I'm glad that you're willing to do that. Because I'm looking at it like, okay, either I get resilient dexterity or I get Sentinel. And both are good, but I want the resilient dexterity.
That bumps you up to an even number?
It bumps me up to an even number, so I go up to
Nice.
18 dex, and
Yeah.
so I get plus on all my attacks, and it gives me proficiency on my dexterity saving throws, so now I'm at a plus 10 on dexterity saving throws.
Yeah.
So, it's like, there's so much benefit for me on that. It's like, I could wait on that, but I don't want to.
Yeah. I am already at 18 strength.
Fair enough. Plus, I think that of the two of us, you are the one who's going to be like, where do you think you're going?
No, not now. No, I cannot chase after you. You have long legs.
Oh, right. Don't you only get to pursue up to half your speed? And isn't that like 10 for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, even like if somebody disengages and then moves,
Yeah.
then on my next turn, I move to engage, and I'm
And
still 5 feet away.
5 feet short. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, I dash, and then motherfucker, they just ran away again.
I'm pretty proud
Poor
of these
dwarves.
stats. Okay, whoops. I should have ended the stream. Okay, bye, stream!
Bye, stream.